Dear students, now I am going to discuss properties of muscle contraction. Just to remind you what you have studied in the last class, the mechanism of muscle contraction. So, skeletal muscle contract as per the stimulus of the motor neuron. So, motor neuron action potential or depolarization wave reaches the synaptic end and it releases the synaptic vesicles releases neurotransmitter acetylcholine, and this evoke a depolarization wave on the sarcolemma plasma membrane of the skeletal muscle, and that it invade the depolarization wave also go deep into the T tubule and reaches the sarcoplasmic reticulum. In response to this depolarization, so sarcoplasmic reticulum releases calcium ions. These calcium ions going to bind the troponin tropomyosin complex, so that tropomyosin troponin no more in contact with the actin, so that now the myosin cross bridge make contact with the actin, pulls towards the center. So, the repeated you can see the power stroke reactions of the cross bridge make the sarcomere contract, and that is the shorten, that is what contraction. So, when the neuronal stimulus is really it is muscle is released from the, or else there is no more neurotransmitter, immediately the sarcoplasmic reticulum it removes all the calcium present in the sarcoplasm and it get collected inside the reticulum. So, there is no calcium, so that tropomyosin troponin go back to their original actin filament, so that they block the myosin cross bridge, make contact with the actin, so that muscle relax. So, this is what you can see, the contraction and relaxation in a cycle you will find. So, today you are going to study the properties of muscle contraction, muscle twitch, titanus, tone summation, all are non-principal, and muscle fatigue. So, a group of muscle fiber in a muscle innervated by a single motor neuron, it is called the motor unit. So, here this is a motor neuron, it has number of branches and innervating each muscle fiber. For example, this is in the bicep. So, bicep is innervated by a single motor neuron. All the muscle fiber in this bundle get a branch from this motor neuron. So, single motor neuron makes contact with around 150 skeletal muscle fiber, and all of this muscle fiber in motor unit they contract in unison. So, as per the stimulation, all these muscle fiber in the muscle bundle they contract at a time in unison. This is what you can see, the motor unit. Muscles involved in the fine coordinated control or the controlled contraction. For example, the movement of the eyeball, then the movement of your fingers. So, these are the fine movement you can see, where you can see the muscles having lesser number of muscle fibers. They are the motor unit having fewer muscle fibers, whereas the muscles where you can see heavy work, like powerful actions. For example, your arm muscles, or else you can see the your leg muscles or the back muscles. They are the powerful actions. They may contain thousands of muscle fibers per motor unit to perform a powerful action. So, this is what you will see here, how the person is lifting the weight. It is a powerful action. So, coming to the all or none law, this is similar to what you have studied in the nerve impulse conduction, the same law here also. The force of skeletal muscle contraction depends on the strength of the stimulus. So, the contraction depends on the strength of the stimulus, that is neuronal or hormonal stimulus. So, a skeletal muscle fiber will produce a given amount of force if the stimulus is strong enough to reach the threshold level. So, it is here the stimulus means it may be the neurotransmitter or else hormone. So, the strength of the stimulus below the threshold level cannot make the muscle to contract. So, above the threshold level the same response you will find. This is called all or none principle. The muscle will not contract with greater force if the stimulus is greater. This is called the same level, you can see the full response. So, motor unit act in a coordinated fashion. One stimulus will affect all of the fibers of the motor unit. So, what is muscle tone? Muscle tone means when the skeletal muscle, when you are maintain a small level of contraction, even you can see to maintain the body posture. If you are not doing any physical work also, there is a small level of contraction is there to maintain the posture, sitting posture, standing posture, and you can see the sleeping or lying down posture to maintain that, you can see. Then myogram, a graphic representation of velocity and intensity of the muscle contraction, a graph of muscle strength or the tension with the time shows the several phases. So, for example, you will find in the muscle contraction, there is the muscle is stimulated, then there is a contraction followed with the relaxation. So, this is how exactly the nerve impulse from you will find you can able to show with the graph, the same way you can show with the graph. This graph it can be also recorded in the case of nerve impulse conduction. It is can be recorded in a oscillo graph or oscillometer. Similarly here also it is called myogram. It is a drum. It is a paste with the coated with the carbon with the small needle. It can be recorded in vitro condition. So, in this you can see in this graph you will find that this is the latent period, contraction period, then relaxation period. Latent period means, so as per the stimulation you will find the neurotransmitter released on the surface of the sarcolemma or else muscle, so that you can see the it stimulate the depolarization wave will stimulate the sarcoplasmic reticulum to release calcium. So, that is it is about 1 to 2 millisecond, remember. So, that is what you can see latent period. Then the contraction period. So, this contraction period, the time actually the muscle contraction where the actin myofilaments will be pulled towards the center by the myosin. Then you can see all these reactions you can see. Then after that the muscle is removed from its stimulation, refractory period. So, this is you can see the relaxation period and followed with refractory period you will find. After that in this period when the muscle is contract, it is not responding to the other stimulus, that is called refractory period. So, all this can be recorded, it is called myogram. So, coming to the muscle twitch, a muscle contraction you have seen there is as per the single nerve action potential, it is called the contraction. As per a single stimulation muscle contracts. So, muscle contract and relax. So, that is called one muscle twitch. So, this tension of a single contraction in the muscle fiber, the motor unit can last for about few milliseconds. So, it is few milliseconds to 100 milliseconds depending on the muscle type. So, this is measured by the myogram. So, this is what you can see, for a single stimulus is applied to the muscle. So, you will find the muscle contraction, it has got a latent period, contraction period and relaxation period. So, the latent phase where you can see it is called the lag phase, where you can see action potential, this is the yellow in color here. So, this lag phase you will find the calcium is released from the sarcoplasmic reticulum which will bind the troponin. Next, contraction phase, cross bridge make contact with the actin, pulling the actin towards the center. So, that is the sarcomere shortens. Then after that you can see relaxation period, the time for the muscle to return to the normal. This is one muscle twitch, one complete contraction, this is muscle twitch. So, next what is the muscle tone summation? So, the most of the muscles are in the state of slight contraction known as muscle tone, I said already. they are constantly stimulated by low rate of nerve impulses coming from the spinal cord, and this is called the skeletal muscle tone. To maintain the posture, there is a muscle tone is required. So this will be how it is get stimulated. It is constantly stimulated by the spinal motor neurons. Okay, they are coming from the spinal cord. Then what is the summation? Summation means a rapid series of stimuli that produce the summation of the twitches and sustained contraction. So you will find this is a single twitch. So this is having all these phase. So if it is this is a single twitch. So if it is, there are several the stimuli applied, then what happens, you can see there is a fusing of all these you can see. So this is called summation, a rapid series of stimuli. There are so many stimuli you will find. So what happens, you can see this muscle twitch going to fuse now. So during this muscle twitch, if a second stimulus is applied to the before the relaxation period, then what happens with the second stimulus will added to the response. So if the original the peak is like this, so for a single stimulus, so the second stimuli added, you can see. So this will be in this, what happens, you can see there is a wave of summation. So this is called the tone summation or wave of summation that occurs. Summation of muscle contraction is due to the absolute refractory period of the sarcolemma. It is less than the duration of the cytoplasmic calcium concentration and subsequent tension generation. So there is no time to pump the calcium back to the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Another stimulus is applied. So in that period, you can see, so this called summation. So the adding together the 2 or 3 stimuli, so that is called the tone summation or as a muscle tone summation. Next is the phenomena called the property called the Titanos. So you should not confuse with the Titanos that is caused by Clostridium tetani. I'll coming to that later. So right now it's a property of the muscle, skeletal muscle. Titanos is defined as sustained contraction of skeletal muscle due to the fusion of many successive rapid muscle twitches. So if the muscle is a series of stimuli applied, there are many stimuli applied without giving time for relaxation. So such tetanic contraction, so what happens, you can see the repetitive activation of the muscle fiber, the summation of the response to successive stimuli. So what happens, you can see the myograph will be like this now. When the frequency of the action potential would be so high that there would be no time for the muscle to relax. So the successive stimuli and it will remain totally contracted in a state, totally contracted state. So this is called Titanos. During high frequency action potential, there is you can see there is no time to remove the calcium or pump the calcium back to the sarcoplasmic reticulum. So you will find in a contracted state. So this is called the Titanos, tetani or Titanos condition. So there are two types of Titanos condition, complete Titanos and incomplete Titanos. So complete Titanos means you will find this type of myogram. Incomplete, so there is a small period of relaxation. So that's why you will find this wavy action. This is where there is a period of incomplete relaxation. So the summated stimuli, so they cause like this type of myograph. So you will see the differences here now. A single twitch, single stimulus, single twitch. This is the myogram, a complete myogram. So there is a repeated stimuli summation you will find. So this is several repeated stimuli with little time for relaxation. So this is incomplete. So then there is no time for relaxation. So this is called the complete Titanos. Now you should not confuse with the Titanos injection, TT injection, what you are getting. This is different. You will find that is a gram positive bacilli. that is the Clostridium tetani. It is a causative agent for tetanus, a vaccine preventable disease that is closely follows if puncture, if you get a wound in a or rusty nail hit into your leg, or this is the spores of Clostridium tetani get introduced into your bloodstream, and that may bring tetanus. It is the muscle spasm or autonomic nervous system disturbance, so that you cannot close your mouth and you close your eye, so the body muscles and all, you will find this type of condition. It is a deadly phenomena. So that's why whenever you have a fall, or if you are get a small wound and all, when contact with the you should get the TT injection to prevent this condition that is arise due to the Clostridium tetani that produces a toxin, and that is so this is called tetanus. Okay. So next the muscle fatigue. So the muscle fatigue, so coming to the muscle fatigue, prolonged and strong contraction of muscle leads to the state of muscle fatigue. If you are holding something so much of weight for a longer duration, you feel later you can't hold it. So that is what the muscle fatigue is, a condition in which the muscle is no longer able to contract. So the muscle fatigue is directly proportional to the rate of depletion of the muscle glycogen. So there is no ATP, so you can't able to lift it for longer duration, something so much weight, So this is so this interruption of the blood flow and all this, you can see there are two types of fatigue. Central fatigue, that is sometimes you feel you can't work now, so it is the fatigue condition to all muscles, you can see. So it is a brain phenomena, and you feel tired, so that is the central fatigue. Peripheral fatigue, if you are holding something for a longer duration, then you can't hold it, so this is called low frequency or high frequency fatigue. In this peripheral fatigue, there are two types: low frequency fatigue and high frequency fatigue. High frequency fatigue results due to the impaired membrane excitability and inadequate sodium potassium pump, calcium channel, impairment in the calcium channel, so that you can see muscle may recover after 30 minutes or less. This is called high frequency fatigue. Low frequency fatigue means impaired calcium release. Then you can see there is difficult to recover after 72 hours. So these are the peripheral fatigue. So other factors involving in the muscle fatigue is the accumulation of inorganic ions, the accumulation of lactic acids and all other. So there are condition where you can see muscle cannot able to contract. It's called fatigue condition. So dear students, you have to develop, you should decide slow muscles or fast muscles. Fast fibers, muscle fibers, they contract rapidly, fatigue rapidly. So only the sprinter, that is the 100-meter dash and all, they require this fast muscle. Whereas the continuous physical activity, continuous work for 3-4 hours, so then you have to develop a slow fibers. So regular exercise will develop so that contract slowly, have a high endurance, and are they rich in blood supply. So these muscle fibers, they are required for the slow fibers required for marathon running and all. So these are called the slow fibers. Dear students, do have some exercise practice and keep good muscle tone and develop slow fibers, so you won't get tired easily. So this is what I advise you. Thank you.